Hey there, it's Ina from Taproot Tarot, and I have a couple of interesting decks to show you today. This is an Aluette game, which I really just got for the fun of it. I don't know how to play Aluette, and I would often see images of the 1800s Grimaud version, and I found them very appealing. And then I came across this Robledo remake of it, and this I could not resist. It's so good. And I ended up getting the MPC printing of the Grimaud Aluette. It is a poker-sized deck, but I got the bridge-sized case just because it's prettier. I like it. If you get a poker-sized case from MPC, this is what you get. And by the way, this is Leonard Jim Narciso's, one of his Lenormands, which is done in the style of his Tarot de Maria Celia. So I absolutely love it. And these are available now from the person who makes the Mamluk cards. I think the name is something like TZES, because the Paralumen Studios Etsy shop has been shut down for a while, and a lot of the Paralumen decks, a lot of Leonard Jim Narciso's decks, including his Lenormand and tarots, are available from the person who makes the Mamluk cards. Just FYI. So this is a game that originated maybe in Spain, but was popularized in France. It's been a long time, honestly, since I read the history of it, so I'm not going to have a whole lot of info for you. I did find a really cool site that has some images of different types of, different versions of Aluette decks, which I thought was interesting. They're just cool because of the art, though. This one I've kept this paper wrapping for. And this is based on a different version of the Aluette than the Grimaud version. So I thought it would be fun to compare them. I've just kept all of these wrappings just to help preserve the deck. I have no idea how many of these Pablo Robledo made, or if they're available anywhere or anything like that. So it's a mystery. Now he has added jokers, and I just love these because one is walking in and the other one is walking out. But these are not included in the Grimaud version. This game just has a bunch of really weird and interesting visuals to it, and I think the interesting part about that is it's a team game, and so people will communicate about, you know, what cards they have, and so the visuals in these cards, which are perhaps pretty random, play a big role in the game itself, which I just think is kind of cool. Now this is also called Cow Game because just about all of them have this, they call it the recumbent cow in the Two of Cups, or they'll have cows show up other places. And the French for cow, I don't know how to say it, it's V-A-C-H-E, Vacha or something. So they'll just refer to the game as Vacha, or however that is pronounced. These are really cardboardy. They've got kind of rose petal finish. And these are typical poker cards. But yeah, lots of storks in this deck, crowning somebody for some reason. And you know, there are ideas as to who she is, or who many of the people are. The numbers go up to 9. And then we have courts. So we've got a jack, and a knight or a dame. Now, whether these are depicted as masculine or feminine figures, they tend to be referred to as dames. I believe these are supposed to both be feminine. It's a little less certain here. But even there are some more like overtly masculine knights in other versions of this deck, and just traditionally they're still referred to as dames, which I kind of love. But they would take the place of the queen in a usual playing card deck. And then kings. And they're all just splendidly dressed. I really love that. So we've got a little bit of an odd depiction of an indigenous person here. And in some versions, the entire club suit is kind of a stylized 1800s version of indigenous costume. A little bit quirky. Now this two of clubs caught my eye with the child on the swing because of the tarot of the fairy folk. The back of the card, this is what it looks like. And it features this fairy on a swing. And so I always kind of figured this was maybe an acknowledgement of this visual tradition. An odd aspect of these are the arrows, and it looks like it's just pointing to which way the card goes, but in other cards they go all different directions, so I'm not sure what those are for. I've read about them and it doesn't seem very certain. See, here's one where arrows face every which way. So not really sure why they're there. Now you might be wondering, why do I have this deck? And I don't know, I just like it. I think it's pretty, and this probably makes it official that I am a card collector now and not just a reader. Because I don't see myself reading with these cards necessarily, unless I get better at reading with playing cards. In which case, the fact that these are Spanish pips will make that easier, as opposed to the French pips. Aren't they cool though? I just like them. They're just a frivolous treat, I suppose. I could learn to play Aluette. It might be kind of fun. Look how just really decadent the clothing is, especially in the Grimaud version. I really like this image. I don't know what the building is depicting, but it definitely looks like it's an actual place. It could be Grimaud's original shop in Paris, maybe? The coins are pretty fun. A bunch of different faces. And whether they were created with real people in mind or just later on associated with real people, they would tend to have nicknames by players of the game, which I think is pretty cool. And we have two triangles forming the six-pointed star in the four of coins, but in the Robledo version, we've got this super cool Capricorn style unicorn, which I just love. And that is from one of the historic decks. I couldn't find the exact one that this is based on, but I will share that link that has pictures of a few different Aluette decks. So if you're interested, you can check those out. These are supposedly King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella of Spain. And there's some kind of signal called a hard kiss that you do to signal to your teammates that you have this card. I couldn't find an explanation of what that meant. And you would think you have to do it kind of in secret so that your opponents don't see what you're doing. So yeah, I'm not sure, but it sounds fun, whatever it is. This dame is usually facing the opposite way in several of the decks that I've seen. I guess a dom it would be probably. More random birds. Instead of crowning somebody coming out of a cup with laurels, they're putting a beanie on this Cupid in the Ace of Swords. Just super random and creative. Just people liked having interesting images to look at when they play card games, I guess. Oh, I like this for reading. Four of Swords with quills. Yeah, I might end up using these once I start looking into reading playing cards. These might be pretty readable. But I tend to get ahead of myself and start a new project before I finish the old ones, so I need to calm down. All right, one last court. The very stylish Jacks of Swords. The Doms of Swords. And the Kings of Swords. Well, that was just a fun little random walkthrough for you. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Bye.